My name is Mike Honeycutt. I've been a member of Advent for over 21 years, and Merry Christmas to you, and we look forward to having the church again. My devotion today is concerned with attention and hope, and the author started with a sentence that says, "Let us hold unswervingly to the hope we profess, for he who promised is faithful." One sentence in this reading that stuck in my mind was, "Pay attention to what you will pay attention to." Now let me read that again because I had to read it a couple of times. Pay attention to what you pay attention to. All the clutter we have in our lives, this is one sentence that brings it home to me. When I was flying in Navy jets as a radar navigator, we paid attention to what we should be paying attention to. In the ready room, we went over our mission with explicit instructions. On the deck of the aircraft carrier, we inspected the outside of the plane for flaws. In the cockpit, we checked all gauges for perfect operations. After our launch, we paid attention to all radio correspondence. Again and again, paying undivided attention to our gauges and flight instructions. There were no distractions, a very small talk in the cockpit. We were focused on what we needed our attention to. We have so many things in today's life that distracts us from real things that we should really be paying attention to. We got cell phones, email, computers, Google, Zoom, TV news, and other channels. This takes away from what we really need to be paying attention to. Well-being in our lives is what we need to give our utmost attention. Distractions that take away from this should be filtered out. I hope that our church will reopen. I miss all of you. There are times I had hope we would not have something like this during Advent. There are times that I feel like the way the disciples and the Christians felt after Jesus was crucified, staying in for fear of being caught, suffering, and sometimes to the point of death. This time it is the fear of contacting a respiratory infection. Hide from others, wear a mask, do social distancing, read and meet with only X number of people present. Hope is what makes us feel we will have our church family together again. We need Sundays to gather and worship to take away from the events of the week. Sundays at our church is a revitalization of hope and feeling good. My hope is that this will happen very soon. And I want to read from the devotional since I'm supposed to do some of that anyway. Deciding what we want to give our attention to and pausing to consider what kind of message we want to be are indeed spiritual practices. A saying we use a lot in Living Compass is, pay attention to what you pay attention to. We are encouraged people to think of areas of well-being in their lives as a garden and to ask the question, which areas have I been watering and which areas are in need of some water? This helps us to discover where we want to place our attention, where we want to water our garden. Advent provides us with a season of time and a clear nudge to pause and pay attention to what our attention span is, including the messages we both send and receive, as well as where we want to place our attention and hope. Making on a personal note, what might this Advent be asking you to pay attention to? What should need to filter out? If you had to speak a message of hope in one sentence, what would your sentence be? Thank you.